Phoenix.
Wake up, it's time to see the love within, the heart that's free, free, free.
Killing the God inside.
Here, I will be brief on Descartes' Cogito, because I think it is one of the simplest philosophical and profound concepts for logical and/or open-minded people. However, less logical minds should look for learning and reading Descartes. They could benefit a lot from it. So, Descartes' main contribution lies in 10 words when most people only heard the 3 ones in the middle sentence.
Dubito ergo cogito.
Cogito ergo sum.
Sum ergo Deus Est.
Let's focus on the last of these 3 sentences. We can think that Descartes, when he wrote his Cogito, actually stopped in his awakening for one or the other of the following 2 reasons. Either he stopped telling himself that there was a God who was superior to him, or he stopped thinking he was a living God while recognizing his deep human nature shared with all his fellow human beings. Assuming the first case, he may have lacked one thing: to kill this monstrous God he was seeing in a mirror, at preventing him from feeling fully human again. Perhaps Descartes took this step later in life. Nietzsche, for his part, took this last step very explicitly.
God is dead.
Nietzsche, author of this other very simple but profound phrase, simply developed a step further the cogito, even if, to me, he did wake up as Descartes did when they both became freethinkers. After the sum ergo Deus Est, Nietzsche went further in describing his awakening by writing this well-renowned phrase: God is dead. Consequently, one could hypothesize that Descartes had also taken this step, but simply could not write such phrase because of the weight and powers of the Catholic Church in the European culture of his time. Nietzsche, for his part, broke this taboo. After probably coming to feel like a living God, he took the final step of becoming fully human again. So the link with awakening is as follows. Waking up involves risks. One can become a megalomaniac madman and stop in one's awakening at the stage where one thinks being a living God. It is likely that many such people are to be found in psychiatric hospitals, but also among our leaders, whose ego is out of all proportion. If someone is naturally a taker, you can assume it will be quite difficult for that person to overcome that stage where one can feel very high and happy, with the influence on others associated with this stage of awakening. Killing a God inside oneself is the most difficult last step. Before truly becoming a freethinker, it is difficult for several reasons during awakening. To decide to become human again is to renounce to this feeling of unique superiority and to recognize that all human beings are equal and have the potential to wake up too. It is also a decision to give up the power of influence associated with the state where the understanding of less awakened people allows to use them as objects and not as subjects. Finally, it is about opening our eyes to the limits of the rights that awakened people have. They have no more rights than others, and the falls of great men in the news regularly remind us of this. In every journey to enlightenment, killing this monstrous God that one can become is a necessary step, choosing to be neither angel nor demon, to simply be fully human. I believe in Gaia, a goddess if you want, Mother Nature for me. Note that givers can naturally attract such takers at the worst moment, while they think they are living gods. In such case, a taker will just seek to submit the givers and swallow their mental power, and frequently the money they may have. If you're a giver, how to avoid this? If you're a giver, you can recognize takers around you by the fact that they'll very rarely thank you for being kind and generous to them. They'll even tell you that what you're doing is just normal, and if only once you offer them an honest observation, they'll be outraged and try to make you feel guilty for observing an imperfection. Takers, like vampires, think they're perfect and are unable to see themselves in a mirror. Worse, they can't stand it. And when you offer an observation to these people, you're acting like a mirror. Voila!